In the greenest of our valleys, by good angels tenanted, once a fair and stately palace, snow-white palace, reared its head. In the monarch thought's dominion, it stood there. Never seraph spread his pinion over fabric half so fair. Banners yellow, glorious, golden, on its roof did float and flow. This, all this, was in the olden time, long ago. And every gentle air that dallied in that sweet day, along the rampart, plumed and pallid, a winged odour went away. All wanderers in that happy valley, through two luminous windows saw spirits moving musically to a lute's well-tuned law. Round about a throne where sitting, Porphyrogene, in state his glory well befitting, the sovereign of the realm was seen. And all with pearl and ruby glowing was the fair palace door, through which came flowing, 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 and sparkling evermore, a troop of echoes whose sweet duty was but to sing, in voices of surpassing beauty, the wit and wisdom of their king. But evil things in robes of sorrow assailed the monarch's high estate. Ah, let us mourn, for never morrow shall dawn upon him desolate. And round about his home the glory that blushed and bloomed is but a dim remembered story of the old time entombed. And travellers now within that valley through the red litten windows see vast forms that move fantastically to a discordant melody, while like a rapid ghastly river through the pale door a hideous throng rush out forever and laugh but smile no more. Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. I am Amethyst Raven. You just heard The Haunted Palace by Edgar Allan Poe, which is poem 2 in the Povember #Povember24 challenge hosted by Release the Craftin. I've lost my thing that I had the prompts on, so I don't know where it's gone. I was probably using it for something, so I don't have that today. But I'm going to go through my makes for The Haunted Palace. Steve and Mr. Raven can stay there. So let's find the first one. Here we go. So this is prompt number 1, which was angels. So I've used a freebie from Hither and Yon Studios for a lot of these angels. So these ones. Because I really enjoy how Deirdre has made these angels look quite grungy, less kind of biblical, but still very angelic. I've then also cut out some kind of statuesque angels as well. So the poem starts as like a memory of how the palace looked in the way long ago. And the angels were there making the palace all beautiful, but then over time the beauty diminished and ends up being more of a ghostly version of what it once was. So I thought these angels were good to illustrate both the beauty they represented, but then the eeriness that the palace turned into. And then in the background, we've got what looks like an old haunted castle. So I thought that was a good representation of the palace. And I've also got some kind of angelic looking paper here in the background that I've kind of dirtied up a bit. And then I've stuck the angel part of the poem on top. And then I made this double pocket down here. Out of angels, and then the statue pulls up. So basically the place is filled with angels. That's just on some pretty paper on the back. So that's prompt 1. Prompt 2 is music. So here we go. So obviously I've used music paper. It's a bit tricky to try and convey actual music as music on a piece of paper other than just by using music paper. So how many times can I say music? But in the poem, the music is again both beautiful and happy at first, and then turns to a discordant melody over time. So I tried to convey this by at this side of the page having the music kind of colourful and bright, and bringing in the word angel again, and kind of covered in flowers. And then as we move across the page, and then like the passage of time, it gets a bit darker, and the poem says here, spirits moving musically to a lute's well-tuned law. And we've got this lady here who's playing, is that a lute? Is it a lute? Is that a lute? Let's call it a lute. This lady playing a lute. And then over here we've got the castle that's kind of falling down, and just a solitary rose with the words talking about a discordant melody there. So it's just the bits of the poem there as well. None of it's pocket or a tuck or anything like that. It's just purely a collage that pops over. So the next prompt is window. So red litten window is what the poem says. And I had to Google what that meant because I didn't know. And basically the Google images were just like red glass and like Gothic windows. So I attempted to draw an old kind of Gothic-esque window, which I cut out and distressed up with some distress sprays and mica sprays, try and give it a bit of a crumbly look. And then I embossed the glass with candied apple embossing glaze to try and give it some sense of the red litten, except it didn't really emboss very well. And I just bought some glossy accents the other day, so I thought I'd give them a go, failing once again on my nose spangia. So I took some of that on, and it was my first time using glossy accents, and I'm a bit of a lazy crafter, and I couldn't really bothered going to get a needle to poke out all the air bubbles, so I poked some of them out with some stray scissors I had lying around, and then got bored, so there is some air bubbles in there. Adds to the character though. I've just purely left the focus on the window, and I've not gone out really further than that, but I've put some flowers kind of going up it, because I'm sure over time the palace will have got overgrown and there'll be all sorts of nature climbing up the walls. And I made this into a pocket, and I just popped a journaling card behind it. If I'd thought enough ahead of time, I could have made that actually transparent, and then you would have been able to see what was behind it, but I didn't. I just made this and then just stuck my little poem, but I've got the prompts there. Because I do actually want to use this journal as like a working journal. Yes, so that's my window page. Next one is a tomb. So I've gone to the very next page for this one. Now, me and my husband went to some cemeteries in New Orleans earlier this year, and they have these amazing tombs. And I found this one and I was like, tomb goals. So when this was one of the prompts, this was the picture I had to use. So I've just cut that out. I've kept it the whole page simple, really. This is the tomb is the focal point. I've got one of Priscilla's gravestones in the background. That sounded a bit dark. Sorry, Priscilla, I haven't just killed you off there. And then I've just got some old kind of overgrown, faded bits in the background as well. I've got the tomb referenced part of the poem here. And I'm not really sure that the tomb reference is actually about an actual tomb, but I've done it literally as like a physical representation of the dim remembered story of the old time entombed, which it says there. So that's my tomb page. And then finally, the last prompt is gems. This is a bit of an extra page, well, not extra, but a bit, it's a bit OTT. So on Priscilla's Patreon, they gave us a digital last year of their watercolour crystals, and so I had to use these, seeing as this is Priscilla's challenge, and I was so in awe of how they did it and how real they look. So the poem talks about pearls and rubies on the door. So I've made a door, and I've like used the crypt grit paste around the outside with some distressing sprays and stuff again. And then I've covered the door in crystals that I've backed onto the shiny gold paper again. And I've kind of attempted to have them kind of hanging off the door as if it's overflowing with decadence. So you've got the smoky quartz there and the labradorite. I love how Priscilla did the labradorite. It's amazing. Garden quartz, which I immediately ran out and bought one of as soon as I've done it. Rose quartz, pyrite. I think that's an orange calcite. And that's another crystal. And then the door handle is like this blue bundle of crystals. Priscilla did not do that. And then we can go inside the door, and oh look, it's Mr. Edgar himself. And here is just the bit of the poem to do with the gems. So, and all with pearl and ruby glowing was the fair palace door. And then just over here, just for the sake of it, I just popped this pocket on with a little tag in, which is Edgar throwing open the door, which is actually from the Raven, with this quote, "Here I open wide the door, darkness there and nothing more." But I thought it kind of tied in nicely with the whole kind of door theme that I was doing with this gem prompt. And those were my 5 prompts. So now we'll go over and do the Poe Tarot pool. Thanks, Amethyst. So I hope you liked my makes. And here I am now with a tidy table, my candle on, Steve, Raven Guy, and my cards are all shuffled. I'm covered in ink. My cards are all shuffled and ready to go. So I've asked them what message you need to receive. And today, oh, it's an upside down one. 4 of Quills in Pace Requiescat. So that's the card. It was reversed, so I will read the reversal, but I'll also read the upright as well, in case you don't read reversals. So 4 of Quills, and the Quills suit is swords, and it covers the season of fall or autumn. The signs are air signs, so Libra, Gemini and Aquarius, that I am. Time frame over weeks, and it denotes intellect, logic, communication, worries, fears and thoughts. So in Pace Requiescat, I can't even pronounce that. It's from the Cask of Amontillado, which is my favourite Poe story. It's so mischievous. I love it. So it's the last line in the Cask of Amontillado, and is Latin for "may he or she rest in peace." And while many use the term "rest in peace" when someone dies, the intention for this card is that the word rest is on the word rest and the need for peace. So the 4 of Quills is all about the need for a long rest, and the image of the boat is a nod to Harry Clarke's illustration from the premature burial. So from a reversed perspective, this card signifies going back to work, feeling better and renewal. So if you've just been getting over some illness, then you're on the road to recovery. If you don't read reversals and you want the upright version, so it would be like this. Time for rest, meditation, time out, retreat and vacation. So something that I think everybody needs anyway. So yeah, have rest when you need it. Understand when you need a bit of time out. Go on holiday, go on vacation. What is it they say? You should meditate for 10 minutes a day, and if you're too busy, then meditate for an hour. Something like that. It was very poor, but yeah, do that. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I will be back on day, what is this? This was days 6 to 10. So I'll be back on day 15 with the next 5 prompts for the next poem. And in the meantime, thank you for watching. I really appreciate all the lovely comments that you gave me on my first video for this. It was quite nerve-wracking actually doing the poems, because obviously it's in quite a long time ago speak, so it's quite hard to get your tongue around some of the words. But yeah, thank you. Please do like and subscribe if you like what you see here. I will be back again in 5 days time. Please go and see Priscilla and everybody else's videos for #Povember24, and thanks for watching. Bye.